So for this, we are going to find the rate of change in the initial value for many of these, and we are going to write an equation. There will be some that we may not do everything with, and I will call that out when we get there. But basically, to find the initial value in a table, you need to find where the table has 0 for the x value. Because 0 on an x value means no movement side to side, which means that it's landing on the y-intercept. And so in this case, the rate of change, the initial value or the y-intercept is 4. The rate of change, we're going to find it exactly like we would from any pair of points. The cool thing about this is we could select these two. We could select these two. Or we could select these two. Or any combination of that. All we need to do is pick 2 points. It does not matter what 2 points we pick. We need to pick 2 points. So I will select 0, 4 and 3, 13. If you select different points than I do, you should still get the same answer. That's my x1, y1, x2, y2. So y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Template. y2 is 13, y1 is 4, x2 is 3, x1 is 0, 13 minus 4 is 9, 3 minus 0 is 3. 9 over 3 simplifies to be 3 over 1. So rate of change is going to be 3 over 1. I am going to write an equation for this one also. That equation would look like y equals 3 over 1 x plus 4. Moving on, we see that 0 is paired with 5 over there, so our initial value, or y-intercept, is negative 5. And the rate of change, I will choose 1 and negative 3, and 3 and 1. Again, if you choose different points than I do, you should get the same exact answer. So x1, y1, x2, y2. y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Do the template. y2 is 1, y1 is negative 3. x2 is 3, x1 is 1. So we're going to change this to be a plus. We'll say 1 plus 3 is 4. 3 minus 1 is 2. Now that's equivalent to 2 over 1 in simplified form. So rate of change is 2 over 1. My equation would be y equals 2 over 1 x minus 5. Continuing, we see that our initial value, or y-intercept, is 50. And the rate of change, I'll choose 0, 50, and 420 for this one. We throw our template, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. y2 is 20, y1 is 50. x2 is 4, x1 is 0. 20 minus 50 gives us negative 30 over 4. And that's equivalent to negative 15 over 2. An equation for this, y equals negative 15 over 2, x plus 50. Next, we see our initial value is 50 because 50 is what's paired with 0. This time I will choose 2 and 40. And 4 and 30. y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Template. y2 minus y1 is 30 minus 40. x2 minus x1 is 4 minus 2. This is going to be negative 10 over 2, negative 5 over 1. y equals negative 5 over 1x plus 50 for our equation. Moving to the next. And I just reminded myself of another good idea. So if you choose to do this and put your points over there and label them over there, that's totally cool. Another option, as you saw me erasing, is to go ahead and label them in the table itself. And so for this one, I'm actually going to circle number 5. We are not going to find an equation for number 5 or a y-intercept. We're only going to do slope. Same thing for number 6. Number 7 we will do the y-intercept and equation. Number 8 we will not. So again, we are going to delete that, and we are going to delete that, and we are going to delete this. Okay. We'll talk about well, the reason why is because we don't have an initial value. We don't have a 0 value for x, and so we don't know what the initial value is. There is a way to find it, but I am not going to teach that to you. Your 8th grade math teachers will teach that to you during 8th grade math. And so let's go ahead and call this x1, y1, x2, y2. Saves us a bit of room. y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1 is going to give us, template first, Schlegel, always, 1 minus 7 over negative 6 minus negative 10. Fix those double negatives. And we're going to get negative 6 over 4. Negative 3 simplifies to negative 3 over 2. Again, no initial value or y-intercept for that one. Same thing with 6, just the slope. Let's pick this, x1, y1, x2, y2, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. y2 is negative 2, y1 is 4, x2 is negative 5, x1 is 7. Negative 6 over negative 12. Those two negatives are going to make a positive when we do the division, and simplified, that makes positive 1/2. Okay. On to 7. We do have an initial value here, so we will do the initial value and the equation. Let's make that x1, y1. Let's make this x2, y2. Again, it does not matter what points you pick. You can pick anything you want. y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. y2 is negative 1. I forgot to do my template. Better be careful with the negatives. Minus y1 is negative 10. x2 is 0 minus negative 6. Both of those are going to turn into a plus because of the double negative. Negative 1 plus 10 is positive 9 over 6. Those are both divisible by 3. If we simplify that, that gives us 3 over 2. Equation for this one, y equals 3 over 2x minus 1. Got some decimals over here, nothing to worry about. We're only looking for the slope. I'm going to choose to pick whole numbers because I don't want to worry about dealing with the decimals. So x1, y1, x2, y2. y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Template it out. y2 is 3. y1 is 4. x2 is 4. x1 is 2. 3 minus 4 is negative 1. 4 minus 2 is 2. Rate of change here is negative 1/2. Again, rate of change and slope have the exact same meaning. Let's take a look at the next page. We are not going to find a y-intercept or make an equation for 9 or 10 or 11. We will for 12. Okay, it says the initial value twice. That's weird. It should say rate of change. Okay, I can pick any 2 points. Let's do these two. Y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Throw the template down. 7 minus 5 over 3 minus 2. 7 minus 5 is going to be 2. 3 minus 2 is 1. That cannot be simplified. That's 2 over 1. Let's go x1, y1, x2, y2. Y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Negative 12, negative 24. 50 minus 20. Those two negatives will make a positive. Negative 12 plus 24 is going to give us positive 12 over 30. Both of those are divisible by 6. That would leave us with 2/5. Okay. No initial value, no equation. No initial value, no equation. Same here, no initial value, no equation. Moving on to the next, we're going to say x1, y1. Again, you could pick any 2 points. You do not need to pick the same points as me. You should still come up with the same answer if you pick different points. Y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. 0, do the template schlegel so you don't mess up, minus 8, 3 minus negative 1. Negative 8 over 4. It's going to be equivalent to negative 2 over 1. And then let's go down here all the way to the bottom. x1, y1, x2, y2. y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Template it out. Y2 is negative 6. Y1 is negative 12. 0 minus negative 3. Change those to plus. Negative 6 plus 12 is 6. 0 plus 3 is 3. Simplify it, becomes 2 over 1. And we do have an initial value here, so we are going to go ahead and with the equation also. So our initial value is negative 6 because that's paired with 0 on the x. Let's move this over here. So y equals 2 over 1 x plus 6. No initial value, no equation for that first one. No initial value, no equation. And both of those have an initial value, so we will do an equation. So rate of change here, let's say we have x1, y1, x2, y2, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. We got 29 minus 14 over 7 minus 3. I should have done my template first, but oh well. So 29 minus 14 is 15, 7 minus 3 is 4. That cannot be simplified. 15 over 4 for our rate of change. We don't have an initial value, so we're not going to worry about making an equation. Rate of change here, let's go x1, y1, x2, y2, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Template. Negative 40 minus negative 13. 15 minus 6. Fix the double negative, make it a plus sign. Negative 40 plus 13 is going to be negative 27. 15 minus 6 is going to be 9. Both of those are divisible by 9, and that simplifies to be 3 over 1. And lastly, we're going to do 15 and 16. We do have an initial value here. Be careful, this is not the initial value. You cannot have an initial value when the 0 is with the y. That would mean that you would be on the x-axis. We need to be on the y-axis, and so that's going to be our initial value. Same thing over here. This is never going to be the initial value because the 0 is with the y. We need the 0 to be with the x because that means we are on the y-axis. Rate of change, let's do x1, y1, and all the way to the bottom, x2, y2, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Template, y2 is 3, y1 is negative 9, x2 is 2, x1 is negative 2. So we've got 2 plus 2 and 3 plus 9, which will give us 12 over 4. Both of those are divisible by 4. Our rate of change will be 3 over 1. Our y-intercept is negative 3. So our equation is y equals 3 over 1 x minus 3. Initial value over here is negative 4. Let's choose the second one and the third one, x1, y1, x2, y2. y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Template, negative 8 minus negative 12 over negative 1 minus negative 2. The double negatives will become a plus. Negative 8 plus 12 is positive 4. Negative 1 plus 2 is positive 1. Rate of change is 4 over 1. Our equation would look like y equals 4 over 1 x minus 4.